Battlefield just dropped their open beta debrief and it goes over a lot of things that they are going to change in the upcoming builds of the game. So in this video, we are going to go through every single aspect that they talked about, what they're going to change and what they're considering changing in the future. But first, if you're new here and you want to stay up to date on all things Battlefield 6, make sure to hit that subscribe button and a like rating would be greatly appreciated. Yes, I stole that from Who's Immortal. Alright, let's go straight into it. So, weapons. They said they are making targeted adjustments to deliver a more consistent and rewarding gunplay experience, including a general pass on recoil and tap fire characteristics across all weapons. So, further emphasizing their unique feel and improving the differentiation in ranges. We've also made changes to encourage more controlled tap firing and burst firing. Seems like they want to get away from spray and pray, want to, promote tactability and stuff like that. Rewarding precision, I made that word up 100%. Rewarding precision and weapon mastery. Additionally, the M87A1 shotgun now requires more pellets to secure a kill, so a nerf to the shotgun. We're investigating the time to kill and time to death experiences. We will share an update if definitive changes are made in these areas. Yes, I do think there's a netcode issue there. You can say skill issue in the comments. Next, let's talk about the movement mechanics they have changed. So they're adjusting this to feel way slower. So momentum, especially horizontal speed carried from a slide into a jump, has been reduced. There is now a greater penalty for consecutive jumps, which lowers jump height when jumps are spammed. Firing while jumping or sliding will result in increased inaccuracy. These changes are designed to make sliding and jumping more situational, so they will no longer be the ideal option for engaging in gunfights. Basically, they want you to play Battlefield, not Call of Duty. They also took the parachute physics and retuned them to reduce initial acceleration when opening for more controlled aerial movement. Next, let's talk about the maps. I know everybody was mad at how small the maps were. We observed some players finding a way to reach rooftops and venture out of bounds. This gameplay is not intended for these maps, and the upcoming ladder for the assault class is also not designed to access these areas. We're actively working on adjustments to prevent unintended access. So, you weren't supposed to be on the roofs, dipshit, Siege of Cairo. We were looking at you guys. Fucking lame, bro. Lame. We also heard strong feedback from players excited by the large-scale maps that Battlefield has to offer. While the open beta featured smaller, more fast-paced maps, larger-scale maps are already part of our launch package, delivering action-packed gameplay, unique moments for every player. As part of the upcoming Battlefield Labs testing, we'll be testing 2 new multiplayer maps, one set in Myrick Valley, and the other remake of a fan-favorite Battlefield, Operation Firestorm. These 2 maps include the full complement of vehicles, like Liberation Peak, along with a more vast combat space. And next we get into modes. Now this gets interesting here, guys. The modes and player counts for each mode. This gets really... Dude, sorry. If you guys have allergies, let me know down below, but I'm not redoing this voiceover. I could sit here and do this voiceover for 3 hours, but I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to sniffle in between, and I'm sorry if you hate that. Alright, modes. So when it comes to Rush, the conversation we observed wasn't just about player count, but also about how maps play and the tactical experience they offer. Rush is a mode with deep roots, originally, Gold Rush and Bad Company, typically 12v12, 16v16. Many of you remember this as the golden era of Rush, and it continues to inspire our approach today. We've experimented with larger player counts over the years, such as 64, even 128. While these matches created intense, fast-paced moments, they also led to issues. So this is their reasoning for the smaller size Rush. Overwhelming defenses, stalled front lines, and too many games ending in the first sector. Rush is especially sensitive to higher player counts due to its tactical and strategic requirements. When a player tries to arm the MCOM while more than 20 opponents are defending, the intended gameplay becomes less tangible. Based on feedback throughout recent titles, we're lowering the default player count for Rush to improve the flow of combat and restore the tactical, methodical experience that defines the mode. Methodical is not what I would say for the Rush experience in the beta, but could just be those maps. For those who enjoy large-scale Rush, Portal will allow you to experiment. So they're basically saying, we're going to keep this for now. If you guys want to make this in Portal, go ahead. In contrast, Breakthrough is designed to accommodate higher player counts of up to 64, and that's where the mode really shines. Using win-loss data from the open beta, we're continuing to make map-by-map balanced adjustments towards our goal of a 50-50 win ratio for both attackers and defenders. Yeah, Rush definitely needed some work on some of those maps. Alright, the approach to player counts. This is where it gets interesting, especially for Breakthrough, which is, don't hate me, but my favorite mode to play. There was some confusion around the number of players in different games, so we wanted to take a moment to clarify our current direction for how these get determined. Rather than locking maps and modes to a fixed player count, our philosophy is to adapt to the best fit intended experience. This may vary by map or evolve over time with player feedback. For example, at launch, some breakthrough layouts will support 48 while others 64. So in breakthrough, based on the map, you'll have different player counts. I think this is pretty cool and should probably be done across the board on all modes, depending on the maps. It's the, oh well, maybe except for Conquest. That's just always supposed to be all out war. It's one of many factors we adjust to create the right balance and feel for each scenario. And breakthrough higher player counts work well on open dynamic maps, while smaller player groups often offer a more focused experience on denser maps. Portal gives players the flexibility to do whatever you want if you want something different, but I think that's a pretty cool take on it. Finding the right balance is an ongoing process. Everyone gets familiar with the map sizes, lanes, and combat spaces. For now, we found that 8v8 provides a solid starting point for all the small scale stuff like TDM, squad deathmatch, domination, and King of the Hill. I mean, I kind of agree with that, but playlist option. A limited variety of playlist options were created for the open. This is also interesting, guy. This is going to talk about the open versus the closed weapon stuff going on. A limited variety of playlist options were created for the open beta to both showcase and test the flexibility of matchmaking system. For more details on our playlist adjustments, see our post. We're not going into that, but playing with both open and closed weapons will continue to be options in Battlefield 6. We're looking for ways to keep them easily accessible. So that's it, guys. There's no open or closed. It's both, and that's how Battlefield 6 is going to launch. It's an interesting take. I mean, I really don't have a preference. I mean, closed is good for some modes, and I prefer open sometimes when I'm just trying to fuck around. So, you know, it's hard to say, but I don't know. Maybe they should stick with one. I'm not sure. We'll see how this plays out. We recognize that some players experience difficulty finding games to complete the challenges of capturing sectors and breakthrough or rush. Yeah, I was kind of having to, not gonna lie, like back out of a game at the beginning to try to get on attack to get that done. It wasn't ideal, and we're actively using your feedback and in-game data to review and improve the matchmaking system with the goal of providing a smoother experience. Reflecting on the beta, they say, you know, it was great. It was awesome. Good time. They released some statistics here with just crazy numbers. I mean, record-breaking beta stuff. But that is all they're changing right now in the current builds in Battlefield Labs. I have not played it. I'm not a Battlefield Labs member. This is what they put out on their website for their open beta debrief. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope you learned something, or, you know, hope you learned that you're going to hate how they're fucking changing this game. Let me know down below in the comments. And once again, think about subscribing. We'd love to have you over here. I appreciate all the love I've gotten on the Battlefield 6 content, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.